Um, our next speaker is Ded D'Sillva, who's based here in Leicester and is from Sri Lanka. And she's going to share her experience of surviving dengue fever and how it is spreading as a result of climate breakdown.
I have to warn you, some of the photos contain upsetting contents. Breakbone fever is an alternative name for dengue, which comes from the linked muscle and joint pain. Before I tell my story, I would like to take you through how climate change encourages vectors such as mosquitoes. It is estimated that over 2.5 billion people, which is greater than 40% of the world's population, lived in dengue endemic areas in more than 100 countries worldwide. And there are more than 100 million cases occur annually. The areas are Southeast Asia, the Caribbean, the Indian subcontinent, South and Central America, the Pacific Islands, and Australia and Africa. Apparently, the incidence of dengue has increased 30-fold over the past 50 years. There are two types of dengue fever, which are dengue fever with symptoms or without warning signs, and severe dengue fever with severe plasma leakage, severe hemorrhage, and severe organ impairments. So you can see these symptoms: headaches, muscle and joint pain, vomiting, eye pain, rashes. These are the dengue symptoms, and this is the case for severe dengue fever. A vector-borne virus disease like dengue is not contagious. It can spread directly person to, it cannot spread directly person to person, but can spread to others through a carrier. If you see this diagram, you can see this vector mosquito bites an infected person. Then this infected mosquito bites an healthy person, then we can get dengue infection too. As climate change upsets our weather patterns and ecosystems, extreme monsoon weather and floods cost lives, and aftermath dengue outbreak cost even more. Sadly, climatic factors play a vital role in the epidemiological pattern of dengue fever in Sri Lanka. Despite the presence of dengue in Sri Lanka since the last 1960s, Sri Lanka since the early 1960s, this has now become a major public health issue with constant infections and deaths throughout the year, and the highest incidence during the rainy months. In this graph, you can see throughout the years how it rapidly increased. Mosquito-borne diseases are climate-sensitive diseases which are directly affected by climatic factors. Climate characteristics such as temperature, rainfall, and humidity. Climate characteristics such as temperature, rainfall, humidity are changed due to global warming. As a result, it expands geographical range of vector mosquitoes and extends the disease transmission season. Firstly, high temperature accelerate the mosquito's life cycle and will generate more mosquitoes. At the same time, the virus can replicate much faster in them, which means it takes a shorter time to become infectious. Secondly, increased rainfall provides more opportunity for breeding so rapidly. You would not believe how small bit of stagnant water in the rain gutters, trash on the road such as coffee cups, and even drip trays outside fridge creases are enough for them to breed. Lastly, humidity helps adult mosquitoes to survive. Unplanned urbanization increased the breeding and transmission. Globalization with rapid global warming may have potential. The alarming factor or specific treatment available for this virus. I think that's enough of talking about some of the facts of dengue fever. Now I'm reaching to tell you about my own experience, how I was at the edge of life and death, and what has been happening to people I know over there. I was a victim of wretched dengue alongside it, such as pain from blocked milk ducts as a result of continued breast encroachment and mastitis, which made me very unwell. The body pain were extremely unpleasant, and I felt severe muscle and bone pain with high fever. I can still remember the air from the fan gave my skin a throbbing kind of feeling, which is very difficult to explain. After I recovered from it, I could not feed my child for weeks properly due to lack of milk, fatigue, lack of energy, and breathing difficulties. I had long-term health effects afterwards, lasting up to 6 to 8 months, which gave me consequences, a tough time physically and mentally as a new mom. One of my cousins has suffered dengue twice within 4 years' time. The second time she had severe dengue fever, which can be fatal. She was very lucky to survive. However, there were many tragic cases in which dengue did not discriminate over age, gender, immunity, wealth, or race. And unfortunately, they lost their lives. Among them was one of my friend's 3-year-old daughter. It was heartbreaking. It has become ever more challenging within the current coronavirus pandemic, where the two diseases have been overlapping each other. Unfortunately, in their early stages, dengue and COVID-19 are difficult to distinguish because they are sharing similar features. I have heard some people have tested positive for COVID-19 as well as dengue, and they ended up with extreme outcomes. Besides the alarming situation that now people shift their concern to COVID-19 from dengue, and double burdens are seen in public health. If global warming does continue at this shocking rate, scientists say the dengue mosquito vector could spread across Europe and North America. As the whole world is in the middle of the COVID pandemic, I think this is the ideal time to think and act to mitigate climate change by acting individually, locally, nationally, and globally. Now is the time to change the global response to tackle the causes of climate change without spreading climate skepticism and vigilant inaction. Lastly, but not least, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Sina for her tremendous efforts towards climate action. Thank you.